Welcome to another lesson by yourtechvision.com, and today I'm going to show all you people out there who adapt work for blind kids how to go about doing it quickly and easily and truly finding out whether it is scanned images or PDFs or whatever it may be. This is how you adapt them. So my student sent me worksheets, and this is what the students do if they get this last minute work, which the student did, and it's completely inaccessible and they just don't have time to adapt it themselves. They send it to me and go ahead and let me do it so I can quickly get it back to them. So I'm not doing this with talking software. I'm doing this with a mouse, as most pro texts and adapters do. So when you get this item, even though it says PDF, you're going to find out that this is a scanned image and saved to PDF, which are like the worst inaccessible issues. And you have the option of download, and you have show in Drive. So first, what I do is I download and I take a look at it to see if it's even going to be adaptable. Now, right off the bat, if you're a JAWS user, you can immediately turn off your JAWS and do this, and I've showed the kids how to do this. I Control A and Control C, and a lot of times, I'm going to go down to Word and open it, you can do that and it works perfectly, and then you can paste. And you'll notice nothing. So it's a secured document, so they actually didn't put it on a scanner and scan it. It's just secured. So they got it from a website and you can't translate it. But that is a trick for documents that are not secured. It's a great, great trick. Control A, Control C. So the students, I can guarantee you this student took that approach first, couldn't do it. The next one is go to the File and go down to Save as Other, and you'll notice text is not an option. Typically it is. If it's not a secured document, that is an option, and you can go ahead and save it as text. So those are two great ways to make sure there truly are text. So that's the first thing I do to find out whether it's accessible or not. It's not. So I head back to the internet. And now you could save it, but what I do is, for a shorter cut, I just open it in Drive. So this is opened here, and then I go to my Open With, and I use Converter from Drive Document. Typically, Google Docs will actually translate this for you if it is not secured. But we already found out it is a secured document. This is how you get around those. So I've downloaded this app. If you have it, you go to Connect More Apps right down here, and you can see all the different apps I have, and all of these help me get those images into text. So I'm going to go to Converter for Drive Document, and here we are. Now this is the easiest and fastest way to do that. So it already got it. Here's my PDF because I opened it in Drive, and now I'm going to go to Convert All, and I'm converting it. There's many different ways to open it, so you can decide how you want to do it. But the fastest way I do it is I just go to the View button and I click View. Okay, and now it comes out in Docs, and you can see it is so beautiful. Now at this point, you could quickly do a Control A, Control C, and then I just Alt-Tab back and paste it, and look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Or you can go here, Alt-Shift-F will take you right to your file, and then you go ahead and go down to Download. Download as, there's your Microsoft Word document, okay? So that's how you tackle all those secured. So that will always work, no matter what. If you don't want to lose any time to even open it in a PDF to find out what it is, just do that, and it is incredibly fast. Okay, so the next issue is, I'll just go back. Let's go ahead and go to Word. So I'm going to go to File and Recent. So I've been doing a lot of adapting for this young lady. So here is, now this was sent to me as image document. So let's go ahead and go get that. And I opened that in my PDF Adobe DC. And it's, so let's go ahead and go back, and I'm going to do a search for what the ProText sent me for help with. Okay, and here are study guides. So let's take a look at this one first and open. Okay, so if you have your talking software on, you'll immediately hear this says nothing. The way you know it's going to be an image is if you right arrow through it and cannot select it, you see that, how it outlines? That immediately tells you that that is a picture. Now, if you can't click on it, that one you can. Most of the images you can't. You can just click on. But if you have difficulties clicking on it, just Control-Shift, right arrow, and select. All these are images. Your JAWS will not talk it. So what I have done is I have created a list of symbols that will you can immediately utilize in order to put what you need. So I'm going to go down, and there is my angle, and it is 220 Alt X, and I'm going to Alt Tab back, and I'm just going to hit delete. Make sure you have spaces around this when you do this coding. So what you're going to do is 2220 Alt X, and now you'll notice it is a beautiful right angle, and if your JAWS was talking right now, it would tell you so. So then what you need to do is you actually need to take this. Now you could continue to do 2220 Alt X all the way up, or you just copy and go like this, delete, paste, up arrow, delete, paste, and so on. And so those become true angles. And if you Control-Shift right arrow and it selects, highlights like that, then you know it's truly an angle. Now if this student is blind, they're going to need this graphic over here in tactile braille. But if they're low vision, the student does Alt V and Z, and we're just going to hit 200% this time, and you can increase it. Now you can go easily up to 500%, but this way this enables the low vision student to do it directly off of this sheet, and the blind student. So with this, in the cube shown at the right, identify two pairs, what the directions are going to say is, in the cube shown on the tactile graph, you know, and then you're going to label them item number 1. Then the blind student knows they just need to go to the graph, item number 1, and then be able to feel it in order to fill in these answers. So that's how you do that. Okay, next one, head to the internet again, and I will backspace and go to the next notes. So we've got bonus for next week. And I have already adapted this for this Parapro because she was unsure how to do it. Let me just download this one, and then I'll go back and I'll show you the graphic. So here is a true representation of what it should look like. Let's go ahead and head back. And this is for bonus, so I'm just going to do a quick search. Bonus for next week. That should be enough to pull them all up. And this is what she sent me. Okay, go all the way down. Let me just download this. Now, what happens is a lot of people believe these are accessible because someone placed them in a document. But once again, if you click on it, you will notice the outline, which tells you it's a picture. So the student, the blind, even the low vision student who could increase the size, they can't drag it around, they can't move these up. You cannot type on this. You just don't have that ability. So what I do is I take the work, like I showed you, and so this is made up for a blind student also. So one battleship, put B in cell 4 times. So if the blind student was doing this, they would do 4 tab, 4 tab, 4 tab, okay, to play battleship. But if this is a low vision student, they can literally take this, and I'm just left clicking and drag it down. Okay. Now you're going to run out of your battleship. Well, this is one battleship, so it immediately eliminates your battleship that you could do there. Now this one, it says 2 cruisers, so what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to click on it, copy and paste for the second one, and then they can drag that down. Just left click and drag it down. So that's how a low vision student can do it. And then of course they can Alt V Z and make this even larger. But as you'll see, I inserted the table. Okay, so let's go ahead and insert a table. If you're a blind user, Alt N takes you right there, and then T, of course, takes you to your table. They will only allow a 10 by 10 table, and I can already tell you you're going to need 12. So let's go ahead and add another row. So you just right-click, insert, and we want to go to the right. And if you hit F4, you insert it again. And now we need to do something below that. Insert row below. Hit F4 a couple times to make sure you have enough. So let's go ahead. I've moved my other picture over to the left, so I'm just going to stare at it as I position my fingers on my numpad and begin to type in numbers. Okay, making sure I have enough, and then I'm going to go ahead and click over here and type in the next set of numbers. Okay, now I've discovered I'm one row too much, so I'm going to just right click, delete cells, and what do I want to do? I want to delete the entire column. Okay, more is easier to correct than less. I will just tell you that right now. So this is a low vision student. I want to make sure everything is nice, big, and fat for her. So I select everything and then Control D. And I'm going to go ahead and choose 16. So even when she does Alt V Z, it's just going to be so much easier to see. Okay, so there is the table. It's looking pretty good. And now I need to go ahead and insert the slash mark. So I go up to Insert. I'm going to go to my shapes and I pick out a line. And I need to slash out this row. Now while it's selected, you could try to right click on it, I'll tell you, but it's so much easier to go to your applications key, and then I format my shape and just make it nice, big, and fat, someplace around 2.5. Go to your line color, make it black, and okay. See how nice that is? Now let's say I need several of those. I'm going to copy it, just unselect, and then you can paste, and then you can go ahead and drag that someplace else. So that makes it really fast. Now the next part I need to do is we need to make those battleships, we need to make squares and all of that. So once again, we're going to go up to your insert, we're going to take a look at our shapes. Okay, we need circles and we need squares. That's a text box, so you don't want that. So there's your squares and there is your circles. So let's just do a circle just so you can see how to draw it. Okay. And then we need to fill it in with black. You could go up and just go black. Okay, you also have your right click option to change all of that. Okay, that's how you do a circle. Let's go back up to insert. So I'm just going to show you where these are. I'm not going to do all of them out. And then of course square. And then just click black. Now if you need to position it up here, and you do for this battleship game, I'm just going to copy. If I paste a whole bunch, then it just allows me to drag them in. Now if I notice that I made my object bigger than my table, go ahead and go here. You need to select your whole table and go ahead and just go to right click, table properties, and my rows and columns, I can specify the height of it. Let's go ahead and do 1/2 inch. My column, which is 0.55, that should be good. Okay. Now, just to make note, if you have made it big after the fact, you're going to need to click on your items and just stretch them out. So just left click and I stretch them out again, and then you just need to make sure your circle is positioned, and then your student can go ahead and just copy, paste, drag up. Okay. Now, the one item I did not show you is insert. Let's go to shapes. Okay, so I need to find something that's slightly, like half a circle. So I'm going to go down here, look at, oh, that's it. Okay, so there is on my flow chart, and I can just draw that out. Now what's nice about this is, you see that green circle? So when you need to aim it the other direction, you just turn it around, just like that, okay, and then make it black. That's how easy that is. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at our images here. So you would go ahead and do all of those out. So you have multiple copies of those. Okay, so you learned the slash, and we've learned all of those. So that's how you do an adaptation with that. Okay, so next adaptation. First of all, someone has pasted this into Word thinking, oh yeah, it's accessible, but a low vision student cannot type on it, and a blind student can't acknowledge it at all because JAWS will say blank or empty. So once again, you can tell it is an image because you click on it and you see the outline of that. So how do we go about adapting that, making it look like that? So I went ahead and adapted that. What I actually did was I inserted a table and then I made the outsides disappear. Okay? So without redoing everything, I'm just going to go to one of these. So let's say I want these to disappear, so I just have words. So I select it, I hit my right click, and then I'm going to go ahead and go to Borders and Shading. Okay? Here we are. Here's our borders, and what we want to do with it, automatic is black. I want to turn it white, the same color. And then basically you have to look at what do you want to disappear. Okay, I want the top to disappear. I want the middle side to disappear. And maybe yes or no, I want the bottom to disappear. It depends if that's part of my next box. So let's just leave that alone. I definitely want the left side to disappear. And I want my middle, but I'm going to keep that because of course it's going to be part of my box. Okay, so you've got a white box now, and that's how you make corners disappear, but the table's still there, so you can shift tab back and put the words in here so it looks like the words are floating. Then of course you go to your insert, and let's say you need to draw an arrow to something. You just click on your arrow and you draw your arrow. Once again, you want to make it black and thick so your low vision kids can see it. Applications, I'm going to format, I'm going to line color, make it nice and thick, line color, turn it black, and close. So that's how you make those type of adaptations, and you just have to think past what you want to do. Okay, there's those straight lines, showed you how to do that in the other part of the lesson. Boxes just are straight boxes. Now you'll notice I moved this up. There's no need to draw really big lines down like that. Line everything up so it actually makes sense to the low vision student so they don't have to keep pondering all over the place on what they're doing. Okay, so that's how you do that one.